Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to another UiPath tutorial. And for today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can upload a file from UiPath directly to your Google Drive. I see some tutorial like this in YouTube, but they are using authentication type, which is I think only applicable for attended bot because it will always require you to allow UiPath application to upload file in your Google Drive. So in this example, we will try to upload two sample file type, one Excel and one PDF file. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, I will do it step by step, so I hope I don't miss anything because I have been working on this for I think almost 2 weeks until I found the what are the setting that I need to complete just to uh, successfully upload file in Google Drive. Okay, so let's get started. So go ahead and open your UiPath Studio and create a new process. So let's call it upload to Google Drive. Okay, let's just wait for okay. So we have it now, and okay, let's start with adding a package. So one required package is if you want to upload the file, you need the GSuite package. So how to do that is, again, go to Manage Packages, go to All Packages, and search for UiPath, the G Suite activities. Click that and install, and then hit Save. Okay, once you have that package added, you will should be able to see that in your dependencies. And so the next thing is we'll go ahead and activate our main.xml file. Let's do that in here. Now let's add the new sequence. Sorry, let's add how. Go to activities, add a sequence. Now let's name the sequence main. And the first activity that we need to add in here is a G Suite application scope. So go ahead, go to your activities, search for G Suite application scope. So anything that you want to use from G Suite, you need to use G Suite application scope first. So let's drag that in our sequence. And so the first setting you need to modify in here is, as you can see here on the property panel, there is an authentication type. There are three: API key, um, authentication client ID or auth client ID, and then the service account key. What I mentioned earlier is the authentication client ID. I think you can easily do this, but again, this is only applicable for attended bots, meaning it will always require you to click something before it proceeds uploading file. So what we will be using is the service account key. Okay, so make sure to select that service account key. But if you select a service account key, you are required to fill up some information on the service account key properties, which are the key path. Key type, we will be using P12. And so the only required fields here are key path, the key type, the password. For P12, it requires a password, and then a service account email. Later, I will show you how to do that or how to get those information. So, yep, let's go ahead and set that up. So, go to your Google account. You can use any type of browser, and then you need to sign in your Google account. And then let's start with Google and search for Google Console Developer. Okay, and look for consoledevelopers.google.com. Click that. All right, and once you click that link, you will be redirected here to Google API and services. So the next thing you need to do is go to credentials. Okay, before I miss, let's go back to dashboard. So before you go and create a new credential, make sure that you go to enable API and services. What you are going to do here is search for the Google Drive and select that application and make sure that you have this enabled. Mine is already enabled, that's why you only see manage. But if that's not yet enabled, there's a button enable there. Just hit that. Make sure that you have that enabled before creating a new credentials. So let's go ahead to the dashboard. Once you are here, go to credentials, and from here, these are the three options that you see earlier: API, auth, and service account. So here, we're going to create a new credential and we'll select service account. And next thing is we need to provide a service account name here. So let's say for example UiPath upload, and this description is only optional. Then hit create, and once you created a service account, you need to select a role. So here you just need to select project owner. Project owner has a full access to all resources. So select that and hit continue. And these are only optional fields, so hit done. Now you can see that we have a service account added in our credentials. The next thing is to manage the service account. So go ahead and check that and click this manage service account. And from here, you see this action. Go ahead and create key. Once you click that, it will give you an option whether you want to use JSON and P12. So that's the option in here. If you are using service account, it's either P12 or JSON. So I will be using P12, but you can also try JSON. So select P12. Um, do not do this in your mobile or iOS device. I suggest you do this in PC, because once you select P12 and you hit create, it will provide you a downloadable file. That's the P12 file, and it will provide you a keyword. This will be the password that we need. So let's start copying that first. Go to UiPath, go to the password field of service account key, and that's a string. So make sure to enclose it by a double quote. And the next thing is the service account email. So let's go ahead and copy that. This is the service account email. Copy, go back here, and again it's a string, so enclose that, and that's it. Okay, and the last thing we need in here is the keypad. So how to do that? As you can see, we have a P12 downloaded in here. Let me just copy that file, and let me go to the project. From your project, go to File Explorer, go to your main folder. You can paste that in here, or if you want, you can create a new folder and store that file inside there. So I just have that on my main project folder. So what we're going to do is to get that path. Um, okay, let's go here. Let's paste that, and let's go back and copy that. So make sure that you add an extension .p12. because it will not be read if you don't add that p12. Hit OK. Now we have all the fields completed. You see, we no longer have a warning in here. So the next thing is to configure scope. So we don't have yet anything to configure. So the next step is go to your activity, go to GSuite and expand drive. That's your Google Drive. These are the activities available for Google Drive. So the only thing we're going to try here is upload file. So go ahead, drag that inside your do um, G Suite application scope. Now, this activity requires two uh, information. So the local file path, that is the path of the file you want to upload, and the parent ID. So for parent ID, I will share to you how you could get that. But basically, that's how we are going to do this is we will put the folder parent ID in here. So later you will see that. So let's start with the local path. I have a sample file in here, but that's on my desktop. So I'll just copy this and go back to my main folder. And maybe I should create a new folder in here. Let's call it files and paste those information. So let's just upload one file for now. Let's start with the Excel file. So let's go ahead and select that path. So Excel sample and the parent ID. It's optional, so let's not add any parent ID for now. And I will help you to get more familiar about this parent ID later. I'll promise. So there's an output as you can see in here. So let's try that. Let's create a variable for that. Let's name it file ID. You will see that on your variable, and you will see that the type is string. So what I want to do is to put the scope to the main of that variable, and then I'm going to add a message box showing the file ID created. Okay, once the upload is successful, we should receive or we should see a file ID generated. Okay, so I think that's all that we need to do for now. So let me go ahead and run this. Let's see if there will be an error. Okay, so it looks like our upload is successful because we get the parent ID. This is actually the ID of the file in the Google Drive space. But but right now we uploaded this file, I mean the Excel file, into the Google Drive of the service account that we created. So even if we access that file, we cannot have a permission to view it. So let me show you how to get the file parent ID from Google Drive. So if you go to your Google Drive, okay, let me check if I have a file in here. Mm, okay, my PUBG montage. What do I have in here? Why I don't have any kind of file? Let me check this invoice. Okay, let me use this MP4 file. Okay, so if you right click on that file, whatever file is that, and you uh, get link, you will see that if you inspect the link, there is an ID in there. So that's the file ID. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy that link. Let me open a notepad. Okay, so if I want to view that file, I just need to navigate to that link as long as I have permission, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and try to upload the same file, but instead of using message box, let me use a write line so I can copy the file ID it will generate. Let's use run file because as you see, we uploaded that Excel file successfully. We get the generated file ID, but we're not seeing that file in my Google Drive. So why is that? Okay, so this is the, okay, where is it? Alright, this is the file ID that was generated after the upload. So what I'm going to do is I will try to access this file using this link. So I just modify the link and let's try and access that. Okay, so I am the one who uploaded it, but as you can see, I don't have access. It is because we use a service account. Service account is like you created a Google account or a service account that impersonate a human. It means like it's like another human uploading a file. So whatever he upload, he only has the permission to that. And our personal account couldn't have access to that file unless we share permission or we get permission to that. So how to do that is this. So in your Google Drive, you need to create a new folder. So let's name it upload file. Let's hit create. Okay, once you have that folder created, go inside that file. The next thing that we need to do is to share this folder or give a permission to this folder on the service account that we created. So to do that, go again here and copy the service account email, go back to Google Drive to the folder we created, and you see there is a share option in here. So it will ask you to provide an email. Let's use that email. Okay, let's not notify because that's not a real people. Now we click share. Okay, so how the file we're going to upload will go in here. So as you can see on the link of this Google Drive folder, there is an ID. This is a folder ID. File ID is different. So let's go ahead and copy that folder ID and go back to your UiPath Studio. And if you click upload file, you will see again that there's a property named parent ID. There is how we could provide the folder ID that we just copy from the folder we created and folder that we gave permission to the service account email. So let's hit OK. Now let's try to upload the file again. Right now we don't have anything in here. Now let's go back to Studio and hit run. Okay, there is another file ID generated and we have the file on the Google Drive. So if I'm going to copy that um, file ID again and try to modify this link, I should be able to view this file now. Let's go ahead in a new tab and okay, I will not open the file, but I have access to it right now. So one more thing, let's try to upload the Excel file. I mean the PDF file. Let's look for the path of it. Now let's try to run. Now let's check. Did not refresh. Okay, we have now the PDF sample. Okay, there's a lot of documentation if you would like to get familiar with different credential that you can use depending on your need. So you could just use Google to search for that, and I hope it helps you because I did not find anything like this available in YouTube yet. And I found a lot of documentation using this approach, but not in UiPath, but for some web services like PHP and website related coding. So this is, I hope I made it basic and in detail so that I could help you, especially if you want to use this feature in your project so you could easily upload files to your Google Drive. I think using the other activity available for G Suite will be just easy for you as long as you completed a setup like this. So that's all that I can share for now. If you have any question, just contact me on the email on the link below, and I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.